Hi everyone. It's been a while since I did my last video, which I believe was the ice water challenge, or maybe it was the update, I don't know. But I recently had an encounter that has been going throughout my life, and I kind of want to talk about it, and a lot of people know about it. It's called sleep paralysis. Just kind of get that out there so you kind of know what's going on, and plus it should be in the title. So basically, I'm going to talk a little bit about my encounters with it, what it is, and how to kind of cure the illusion part of it, and hopefully be able to break the paralysis part. So basically, sleep paralysis is you're asleep, and you wake up and you can't move, you can't speak, you can't really do anything except kind of look around with your eyes a bit. And the scary part, and a lot of people look up how to do sleep paralysis, which is insane almost, because it is nightmarish. I mean, there's nothing good about it. And the fact that people want to experience it, that's on y'all. And when you welcome that stuff into your life, you'll regret it. Because I'll talk about some of my experiences and what I have seen, along with some other stuff. So basically, you're paralyzed, and you can only look around and all that, so I covered that. Basically, the other part is sometimes you hallucinate, and you will see stuff like monsters or demons or, whatever, and it gets really scary. It really does. Growing up a lot, I guess it has something to do with insomnia, maybe, because that's what I have, and I have to take melatonin for that. But even as a kid, I went through sleep paralysis through a lot of different stuff. I went through a lot of sleep paralysis, and it got really scary. There was no hallucinations. It was just so scary because you could not move. You could not speak. You could not do it. But you can hear and see everything going around. You're awake. I recently found this out. You are awake, but you cannot move, and your body's in a paralyzed state. And what that is basically when you fall asleep, your body produces a natural chemical which paralyzes you, so that way you don't hurt yourself when you're asleep. Well, you can sometimes wake up, and this paralyzed state, it's still active, and apparently so is the dreaming part, and it's not the good dreams, it's the nightmare stuff that seems to happen. It's the really dark stuff, typically. And I'll get to the cure really soon. But one thing was, like, my neighbor, he said he's seen like demons, and he's also seen angels. And there's a lot of different stuff that can go into like sleep paralysis. Like, people have sleep paralysis and dream they're being abducted by aliens, and you are awake and your mind is playing illusions into your mind to where you see everything as if it was real. And the scary part is you can't tell it from dream or reality, because everything's there, and you're not only hallucinating through vision, it's not just a visual thing, it's also an audible thing, where you hear everything. Like, my first encounter with an actual illusion was a shadowy figure by my window who tried to punch me in the face and then disappeared, and then I woke up from the paralysis. Another one was another one by my window. Looked like The Exorcist or something, like the girl. It was an older lady wearing a white, torn blouse almost, or gown or something. It was like torn and everything. You couldn't really see anything. It basically looks like a ghostly figure where you couldn't see anything through the clothes, but it was all torn and everything. You could barely see her face. And she got like right here she started out here and then came right here, like in a split second, started screaming, and I could hear the high-pitched screams in my ear and all that. And the latest one, and each time, I'm able to move more and more, try to break the paralysis, and it's very hard. You have to struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle just to move in about that much. Like, that's the most you can get. So, anyway, so there was that. So yeah, and then the latest one, that's what I was getting to. The latest one, I was by my bed or whatever. I was looking like downward of my bed to where my feet were. And all of a sudden I hear like this little girl whisper in my ear, which there was no one there. So I hear this little girl whisper in my ear, "Are you a monster?" And there's like this black shadowiness or something that just zooms by the foot of my bed. And from there, and from my other experiences through growing up and all that, I have found there is slightly a cure, because people want to know how to do it. Well, you also want to know how to get out of it, alright? So anyway, here it is. Sorry I kind of delayed it, but I kind of wanted to get people to understand. No more delays. So, the cure. So basically, one of the things is so terrifying, it happened over and over and over again, to where I started realizing this isn't real. And that's the thing that I had to tell myself and try to actually say during sleep paralysis was, you're not real. And when I say that, the illusions disappear. And that's the thing. Like the lady going up to here and screaming in my face, I said that you're not real, and disappeared. The screaming, the little girl whispering in my ear, and the thing zooming by my bed and all that said you're not real, and it all went away. The paralysis didn't. Now the paralysis is something you have to keep fighting against. And eventually I was able to get the latest one after struggling after so many attempts of doing this. And this isn't something that I'm triggering myself. It happens randomly through nighttime, through daytime, whenever I end up waking up. And it gets really scary, especially when it's pitch black darkness and you can't see anything. So I finally was able to get my hand up to here, and was able to get my hand enough to where I could get it right here and just let go and let my hand basically slap me in the face, and that got the paralysis away. Basically, if you can touch yourself and do whatever, you can break the paralysis basically from doing that. Basically, that's how people, if others are finding people going through sleep paralysis or struggling, if they can shake them and wake them up, that somehow gets rid of the paralysis. And that's the cure. That's basically the thing. You gotta say that and struggle and try to get yourself awake. Because the reason I know that it is indeed real is because every time I wake up from it, I'm in the exact same position as I was when I was paralyzed, and I don't even blink when the paralysis wears off. My eyes are open, and I never even close them. Like when I did this, my eyes never even closed or anything. I just did that and broke the paralysis. I seriously sat up in my bed and started like looking around and everything, and realized that's not a dream. It's a real thing where your mind just plays tricks on you, and it's scary. And the people who want to do it, I will tell you, you don't want to do it. If you want to scare, you want to just terrify yourself, then yeah, you can do that, but I can warn you, I'm one of the lucky ones, considering there have been people who were physically attacked during the sleep paralysis, and I already hit 10 minutes. Wow. But anyway, there'd be like people with demons sitting on their chest, constricting airflow, or a shadowy figure putting their hands on their neck and squeezing the life out of them, basically. And they can feel it. They can feel it, and they can't breathe. And it's scary. It can get very physical as well. But yeah, that's sleep paralysis. It is a very terrifying thing. Do not try to get it. Don't purposely try to get it. If you want to, by all means, that's your thing. I've experienced it through random events, and I do not want it to go again, because one of the things, it plays with your fears, and one of the things was I read a creepypasta before the night of it happening, and it was Jeff the Killer. And before I woke up and did the whole sleep paralysis, I actually had a dream to where some of the words of the creepypasta came up on my dream or something. It said like "killer still at large" or something like that. And all of a sudden I'm on my side, I'm looking at my doorway, and there's a man wearing a white hoodie and a knife, and he's standing there, and he charges at me, and then all I see is that white face, blackened eyes, and cut smile. And it was horrible. So yeah, that's my experience. Oh, actually, almost forgot. Anyone who stayed to this video, you get the little extra cure. A lot of sleep paralysis actually happens when you're laying flat on your back. If you lay on your sides, then it's a reduced chance of it happening. It can still happen, but it's reduced from what I've heard. So yeah, there you go. That is dream paralysis.